The show opens with a man chatting with people online about killing someone. The scene quickly shifts to a strange-looking spore falling from the sky and landing on the floor of a concert. A larva then sprouts out of the spore and makes its way to the nearest person, entering the human's body through his ear. The man who has now been possessed falls unconscious. Soon afterwards, the man's sister runs into the room and tries to wake him up, but to no avail. However, after she leaves the room, the man suddenly wakes up. But he's no longer himself, as the extraterrestrial larva has completely taken over. He walks out of the room to where the festival is being held. Outside, his sister notices him and reaches out. But as he turns around, his head transforms into a tentacle-like creature with blades at the tips. He then slices her open with one of the tentacles. As a result, all the festival goers start running away, while the parasite-possessed man begins killing whoever is in his sight. The scene shifts to an hour before the incident, where a man is at the supermarket buying meat. Instead of waiting for the butcher to put a price tag on the meat, the man picks it up and walks to a register to pay. Since the meat doesn't have a price tag, the cashier, Soo In, refuses to sell him the meat. Enraged, the man leaves the store. After the workday is over, Soo In gets ready to leave the supermarket. On her way home, she notices the angry customer from earlier following her. Suddenly, the man crashes his car onto her moped, and Soo In is knocked to the ground. The man then quickly gets out of his car and begins to stab her indiscriminately. However, Soo In is able to push him away and tries to run away, but she doesn't make it very far since she's critically injured. As she lies on the ground, a spore falls from the sky next to her, and a larva quickly enters her body. Just as the man approaches her with his knife, he's sliced open by the tentacles with blades that sprout out from her head. Soon afterwards, the police then show up on the scene. Elsewhere in a police station, Officer Choi Min is debriefed on the mysterious killing that just happened. His colleagues inform him of the victim's name, and he's shocked to find out it's Soo In. Through his concerned expressions, it is quite clear that he knows Soo In personally. Following this, Officer Choi Min goes to visit her at the hospital where she's in a coma. He finds out that she's unharmed, which is shocking since she was stabbed multiple times. Meanwhile, a comatose Soo In dreams of a past memory from her childhood. She then suddenly wakes up, and later has a conversation with Choi Min about the incident. From their conversation, it is revealed that Soo In was abused by her father as a child, and it was Choi Min, who was working as a detective at the time, that saved her from her abusive father. Detective to save her. After a brief conversation, Choi Min leaves to let her get some rest. A few months later, a gang leader enters a club and is attacked by a mysterious assailant. However, the attack is thwarted and the assailant has to run away. After a while, it is revealed that the assailant is Kang Woo, a member of a rival gang called the Magnani Gang. Since his attack didn't go as planned, he now has to lay low because the other gang is after him. He ditches his cell phone and shows up back home in rural Korea. However, at home, his sister, Kyun-hee, acts really strange. He asks her about their younger sister, Jin-hee, but she only gives an intentionally vague answer. However, Kang-woo does find Jin-hee's phone in the top drawer of a dresser along with a flyer on the mirror for something called the Seejin Church. According to it, a revival prayer meeting is happening later that night. There's also a weird symbol printed on the back. In the next scene, Soo In is on a bus on her way home from work. Suddenly, she hears a loud screeching noise and covers her ears. Coincidentally, this happens just as a strange man enters the bus. The man stares at Soo In as he makes his way to his seat. This freaks Soo In out and she quickly gets off the bus. The scene then quickly cuts to a man taking a woman back to her house. The woman is very stoic and acts in a strange manner. When the man pulls up to the woman's house, it looks like a rundown building. Once inside, she takes him to a room where the ground is covered by plastic. The man immediately starts to panic. Suddenly, a group of people enter the room and start talking only to the woman, completely ignoring the man. Just as the man begins to make a call for help, the woman transforms into a tentacled creature and attacks. Just then, several smoke bombs are thrown into the room and the man is able to run away. Everyone in the room begins transforming into giant creatures. Soon afterwards, armed men run into the building and begin shooting and killing the tentacled creatures. However, one of the strange creatures is able to get away. The tentacled creature hears a high-pitched noise coming from a van and finds a man strapped to a seat with a helmet on. It asks the man if he is one of their kin before noticing the man holding a remote. The creature realizes that the man is a prisoner. Suddenly, a woman with a shotgun appears and begins shooting at it. Although the tentacled creature gets shot, it is once again able to escape. The woman and her team then head back into the building to see what the creatures have been hiding. They find a room where human body parts are being kept and also notice a weird symbol on the wall. It's the same symbol that was on the flyer that Kang Woo found. The woman finally realizes that the tentacled creatures are banding together. Back at Kang Woo's house, his older sister, Kyun-hee, talks to somebody on the phone about recruiting Soo-in into their organization. As she leaves to go find Soo-in, Kang Woo secretly follows behind her. Elsewhere, Soo-in encounters the strange man from the bus again, and he begins to chase her into a junkyard. As she tries to run away from him, Kang Woo's older sister and the strange man trap her. A horrified Kang Woo watches as his older sister, the strange man, as well as Soo-in turn into tentacled creatures. Before leaving, Kyun-hee and the strange man give Soo-in a pamphlet for the revival prayer meeting at Seol Church and tell her to join them later that night. Unfortunately, Kang Woo tries to escape from his hiding place, but a possessed Soo-in captures him. She demands that he does something for her or she'll kill him. The scene then immediately cuts to normal Soo-in waking up from her possession. Kang Woo explains everything that happened to her and how she became a tentacled creature. It is then revealed that the possessed Soo-in wanted him to explain to normal Soo-in that when the parasite entered her body the night she got stabbed, it couldn't fully take over her brain. Hence, she's not a full mutant but only a half-mutant. Later that night, Soo-in is able to get in contact with the possessed side of herself, who tells her that she'll explain their condition in detail. The main takeaway from this explanation is that a possessed Soo-in can only take over Soo-in's body when she's in danger, and only for 15 minutes a day. The reason that she can't be in control longer is because she failed to completely take over Soo-in's brain. The parasitic Soo-in's job is to take care of the body and protect it from harm, since that's its new home now. It also warns normal Soo-in of getting involved with anyone who gives her a strange feeling, because they're not good people and will try to eliminate her. Back at Namil Police Station, a special investigation unit briefing is held for the entire force regarding the parasites. Officer Chol Min is joined by Detective Won Seok. As the meeting begins, the woman from earlier who had the shotgun appears and introduces herself as Choi Jun Kyung. She is the head of the Parasite Special Forces unit called Team Grey. According to Jun Kyung, the parasitic organisms all appeared at once and have already matched up with their human hosts. She then shares a presentation of the concert killings before revealing that the man on the table in front of her is the parasitic organism responsible for those killings, leaving everyone in shock. She explains that a few months ago the parasites dropped on Earth in larval state. They entered into a human's body through the ears, nose, or mouth, and took control over the host's brain. The person's consciousness is completely absorbed by the parasite, making them not human anymore. The parasitic organisms that complete their mutation follow their instincts and kill humans. Furthermore, she adds that their heads can transform completely and that they can use them as a sharp blade to kill. When asked on how to kill a parasite, Jun Kyung explains that when a parasite doesn't have a living host body, it will shrivel up and die. So, the best way to kill a parasite is by making the host body bleed out all at once, or destroy the heart entirely in one go. She explains that a knife or a shotgun is the best weapon to use to kill a parasite. When it comes to identifying a parasite, she explains that the best way to do so is by plucking out a strand of hair from the host body. If the strand of hair crumbles away and vanishes completely, then there's a parasite living in the human. Jun Kyung then brings out her husband, who also has a parasitic organism in him. He is wearing a helmet with a device that dispenses a chemical that is susceptible to parasites and will immobilize them. The helmet also has a sensor that monitors if the parasite transforms itself in order to escape. If this happens, the chemical dispenses, and the parasite experiences a lot of pain. They're keeping this parasite alive to use as bait to lure in other parasites so they can capture them. Parasites can use brainwaves to detect other parasites that are near them. So, the Team Grey task force is using Jun Kyung's husband as a radar to detect if other parasites are nearby. They're calling it the hunting dog. The meeting ends with Jun Kyung telling the police force to come to Team Grey with any suspicious cases they stumble upon. They're hoping one of the cases leads them to the parasite gathering spot. A few days later, Kang Woo pawns off one of his watches. After he gets money for the watch, he heads to the phone store to get his phone turned back on. While he waits for the employee to fix his phone, he heads to a motorcycle shop nearby. He asks the worker if he can buy a motorcycle, and they come to some sort of deal. After getting his phone back, Kang Woo makes his way back to the motorcycle shop and finds out that the worker ratted him out to the rival gang that's after him. Luckily, he manages to successfully escape. Later, while waiting at a boat dock, Kang Woo calls a person named Kyung-min. He tells Kyung-min about the rival gang that are after him. It appears Kyung-min is also a part of the Magnani gang like him. Before ending their call, they agree to meet up later that night. After a while, Kang Woo takes out the Seol Church pamphlet and stares at it. It looks like that's where he's headed next. At Team Grey's worksite, Won Seok talks with Jung Kyung and asks to join Team Grey. Jung Kyung tells him that if he actively cooperates and helps track down parasites, she'll put in a good word for him with headquarters. Won Seok thanks her before walking away. The scene then shifts back to the supermarket where Soo In works her shift. Chol Min meets with her for lunch, but he has an ulterior motive for meeting with her. He wants to see if she's a parasite, so he smoothly plucks a strand of her hair. When he examines the hair, it doesn't disappear, letting him know that she's not a parasite. During their conversation, Soo In starts to hear a high-pitched noise, which means another parasite is near. Soon after, a parasite stares at her before walking away. Before ending their conversation, Chol Min gifts Soo In a keychain as a present. On the other hand, Kang Woo arrives at Seojun Church, but he hides away in the trees and watches as other people gather. One of those people is Soo In, who was captured by Kang Woo's older sister and the strange man. Kang Woo then looks to his right and notices a mysterious building. He then heads over there to check it out. Meanwhile, a bunch of parasites including Soo In gather inside Seojun Church to listen to the pastor who is the leader of the parasites. He turns on a video message of a parasite who escaped Team Grey's clutches. This is the same parasite who found the hunting dog in the van. In the video, the parasite explains that a police force is after them and that they're keeping one of their own as a prisoner. He tells the other parasites that if they don't come up with a plan quickly, Team Grey will soon find them and eliminate them all. As soon as the message is over, the parasite shrivels up and dies. Meanwhile, Kang Woo finds a way inside the mysterious building. There, he finds dead bodies in bags hanging from the wall. Suddenly, a parasite walks into the building, and Kang Woo is forced to hide. As he tries to escape, he comes across a dead body in a bag that he recognizes. It's his younger sister that he's been looking for. Filled with rage, he comes out of hiding and begins attacking the parasite before running out of the building. The noise from the attack makes its way to the church, and the pastor commands that all parasites go after Kang Woo. As Kang Woo runs through the woods, he encounters the rival gang after him. He tries to warn them that they must leave before they're killed, but they don't listen. Kang Woo's older sister and other parasites show up and begin slicing each gang member open. Amidst all the chaos, Kang Woo uses this opportunity to escape. Only a short distance later, he runs into Soo In the woods, and they run to a gas station together. At the gas station, they meet up with Kyung-min and tell him to hurry up and get in the car. As they quickly drive away, Kyung-min tries to kill Kang Woo. It's then revealed that Kyung-min is a traitor and told the rival gang where Kang Woo was. Suddenly, the strange man who was with Kang Woo's sister lands on the car. Kang Woo then ventures off the road into the woods to get away from him, but the car hits a tree and hangs off a cliff. Sensing Soo In is in danger, parasitic Soo In takes over her body and begins fighting the strange man. She kills the other parasite before turning back into normal Soo In. Meanwhile, Kang Woo tries to figure out how to get out of the car before it falls from the cliff. While he does make it out of the car, he ends up falling on the hood. Soo In tries to save him but isn't strong enough. So, parasitic Soo In takes over again and saves him with her tentacles. Meanwhile, at Team Grey headquarters, Jung Kyung comes across Soo In's attempted murder case, and after reading over the details, she realizes that Soo In is a parasite. The scene shifts to a flashback to the night Jin Kyung's husband was turned into a tentacled creature. They are loading their car with groceries when Jung Kyung notices she doesn't have her receipt. While she runs back into the store, her husband notices a weird-looking spore landing on their car. A larva shoots out of the spore into his ear, and he instantly transforms into a parasite. As Jung Kyung gets ready to leave the store, she sees people screaming and running. Her now parasitic husband walks into the store and begins attacking people. Seeing this, Jung Kyung runs after him but is attacked. He cuts off her ear with one of his tentacles. As he chases after her, Jung Kyung finds a way to lock him inside a room. She stares at him through the window as he bangs his head up against it. Devastated, she then slides down the door and cries. Back in the present time, Jung Kyung wakes up from this nightmare. She sits up from a bed and stares at nothing particular, while a tear falls down one of her eyes. In the meantime, Kang Woo and Soo In are now staying at a motel. They discuss their next plan, which is to tell the authorities about the parasites and dead bodies at Seojun Church. Since Soo In has a close relationship with Officer Chol Min, they decide to call him and share what they found at the church. However, they keep their identities hidden from him. After learning new information from Soo In and Kang Woo, Chol Min shares it with Won Seok, and then goes to share it with Jung Kyung. Team Grey and the police force all head to Seojun Church, but they find it deserted when they get there. However, they do find the dead bodies in the warehouse. While investigating, Chol Min finds Soo In's keychain that he gave her on the floor. Now he knows that she's been there. He quickly puts it in his pocket, but Jung Kyung notices him. Although she doesn't question him, she now becomes suspicious. After finding Seojun Church empty, Team Grey's next plan of action is to find the pastor, who is named Kwon Hyuk-ju. Won-seok offers to go look for him, and Jun Kyung accepts his request. Following this, Won-seok arrives at a mysterious building where Hyuk-ju and more parasites are hiding. It is then revealed that Won-seok is actually secretly teamed up with the parasites. He helped them escape Sejin Church before Team Grey could get to them. The meeting ends with Hyuk-ju giving Won-seok a new task, which is to kill the hunting dog. Back at the motel, Soo In receives a phone call from Chol Min asking to meet up. They decide to meet up at an amusement park and Kang Woo tags along. Unbeknownst to Chol Min, Jun Kyung secretly follows him and orders a team to follow as well. As Soo In and Chol Min talk at the amusement park, Chol Min gives Soo In her keychain that she dropped at Sejin Church. Then, he questions her as to why she was there. Suddenly, Soo In hears a high-pitched noise, which means another parasite is near. That parasite is the hunting dog. Jun Kyung has arrived and her team is quickly approaching them. Just as Jun Kyung is about to shoot Soo In, Kang Woo rams into Chol Min, who then slams into Jun Kyung. This gives Soo In and Kang Woo time to run away. They run into one of the shut-down rides to hide while Jun Kyung chases after them. Meanwhile, Team Grey and the police force also arrive at the amusement park. Won-seok arrives at the park as well and sets out on completing his task of killing the hunting dog. Back at one of the shut-down rides, parasitic Soo In takes over Soo In's body and tells Kang Woo that she'll handle Jun Kyung while he escapes. Kang Woo then tells her that he'll find a car to escape in and honk the horn for her as a signal for her to come. Soo In agrees to the plan, and Kang Woo leaves. Although Soo In manages to run away from Jun Kyung, she runs into other Team Grey members. As she's surrounded with no way to escape, she transforms back into normal Soo In. Suddenly, Chol Min runs to her and tries to protect her. Meanwhile, Kang Woo witnesses a man in a black jacket, Won-seok, kill the hunting dog. While gravely injured, the hunting dog hits a button on a remote to signal that a parasite is near. He does this so that Jun Kyung and the rest of Team Grey can come to his rescue. But by the time they get there, the hunting dog is dead and Won-seok is nowhere to be found. Filled with rage, Jun Kyung grabs the helmet that was on the hunting dog's head and takes it with her back inside the amusement park. After witnessing everything go down, Kang Woo decides to leave Soo In behind and escape by himself. As the credits begin to roll in, Won-seok walks into the amusement park room where Team Grey is surrounding Soo In and smoothly stands next to a member. Meanwhile, Chol Min pleads with Team Grey not to shoot Soo In, but they take him away. Jun Kyung then walks up to Soo In and places the helmet on her head, as everyone looks in shock. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave 1,000 likes or 100 comments if you'd like us to continue part 2. Thank you.